Quarachi, Acecha, Misti Sista. Hi, my name is Misti Saenz Garcia. I was born and raised here in Camilchi, born in Shelton, but born and raised here on the res. I'm running for council position number 2 for tribal council. I'm a wife, a mother, a grandmother, sister, auntie, companion to many.
Why do you want to run for council? And if elected, what would you like to contribute or be known for? What leadership experience do you have working with committees and boards, etc.?
I am running for tribal council after uh, I don't know if that's relevant or not, but I have sat back for the last 10 years of not being involved in any political aspect of the tribe practically. And I just feel that I was actually at a winter session over in the community kitchen. And I was asked to come up for some issues that were on the table. And I said, well, what's really going on? What's going to happen? Is it worth leaving my Netflix? Because I was literally in sweats and a t-shirt, and um, there was a group of tables of ladies, and I went up. I left my Netflix, and I went up and participated in the meeting, and basically, I was being that voice for those issues at hand, and I didn't know how much I missed it, how much that feeling of that involvement and that action and being able to impact decisions that are faced for our people. Um, I was born and raised under the council table, as is pointed out by some in the tribe, that having my mom on council for so many years and being able to go to meetings and participate and be on the other side of things, um, and also with our late leader, um, Dave Lopman had said to me, it's something that you got or you don't got. There's something that you can't be given, you can't be taught, and that it's just something that I have. I mean, I've battled with trying to not have it, to not be it. Fought that against myself, and it never worked, because it's something that is just in my blood to be a community advocate for our people. So um, it's what I know and what I know that I'm good at for our people and our tribe. And um, I love the interaction, the being able to be a part of that, um, is what I feel that I know that I'm good at.
What successful strategies would you develop to empower our people? How would you balance the tribe's business interests with cultural identity?
Well, I think, it's not one person impacting, because knowing how tribal council works, there is, you have to have four of the seven to move anything forward. It's not one individual person's perspective or mindset. You have to gain the trust and support of four other members. So it's four out of the seven to move any issue forward. It takes teamwork, it takes, um, education and building and things like that are going to ultimately lie in the hands of at least four other people, to come together cohesively and make that, want to attain those things. So I think there's plenty of ideas to think of how things are working in the enterprise perspective of business, and then there's administration up here. So having those teams and having those groups and leaders, come together and brainstorm. Um, it's not one person's decision.
To ensure that tribal council makes decisions with generations ahead in mind, what changes would you propose?
I think coming with the times, like mentioned, with what I see happening in tribes around us, networking with other tribes and being involved with them, you get to see the things that are possible. There's nothing wrong with seeing other tribal ideas, but being with the times, electronically and things, the way you can, click things, everything, the transparency. I've probably not been 1 month that hasn't gone by that I've emailed tribal council with every tribe almost in Washington's transparency of what they offer, so that you are not mistreated by who you are or your last name. It's inclusive for everybody. You get to just see one click, and be transparent. Whether it's a social service activity, whether it's, but everything's defined of what you see. And I see nothing wrong with getting those ideas and discussions from other tribes to feel like, oh, how could we do that? How could we advance in our tribe of mainstreaming things, with the times today? Um, our younger generations being all electronic, I mean, I remember the typewriter and database, system, and look where we're at today. There's so much um, possibilities.
How do we make our leaders accountable? What, in your opinion, would create more transparency?
I see an opportunity, of like I mentioned, a report card type system, where you can come up. I mean, it's just ideas, but like a report card type system, what have where your impacts been? What have your changes been? I know back on my last term, I know we were able to show, we got tribal discounts for gas. We got, an additional per cap added. We got, upped it. There was things, that's a report card of things that actually somebody very intelligently said, look at all of these things that you impacted, when you were on your term, that you brought to the table and you seen happen. And they were simple things. I was like, how can I go to Yakima and I get a discount, but I can't get a discount in my own tribe? That's how we impacted getting our gas discount. um, how does the formula change to change per cap? you know got that information passed and made it happen. But again, those ideas, you still have to get the rest of the team on board to advance those things with you, to see um, all of the hard work and things that it takes at natural resources. I mean, there's so much knowledge to be put out for our people to be involved in and see, that they don't know about.
What would you do to prepare a tribe for future disasters, such as this pandemic or an earthquake?
I think the communications portion of things, I mean, I just live right down the road, and I don't know the plan. I don't know I mean, I used to say, our emergency systems that we had, yeah, we got out of the building and we were accounted for, but now what? I didn't know the next step, and that as a mom and a grandma, that worried me, is the communications. Where's the communications to know, all right, well, I don't know if the world's crashing in around us right now, but all I know is we made it out to the parking lot. That doesn't tell me where my babies are, where my grandbabies are, what I'm going to do, what's going to happen. Um, so I think relying a lot more on how to communicate to our people, and, knowing that I worked here and I lived here and I didn't know, not being communicated to. So I think those changes of getting the right information from, national, local, regional, what's available, and sharing that.
Is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you'd want the tribal community to know?
That your vote counts. Please show up and make your vote count. What you every time, every time your vote counts. There's our ancestors are relying on you. Our young ones today, like, I know that you're always told to think of your past ancestors and think of the next 7 generations. Um, but I think that we need to heal as a people. We need to know that our people are valued, and they need to be relayed that they do count. There's no oppressing them in the changes that would be awesome to see happening, that are, happening and have been in change and process, and just to be able to value every tribal member counts.